Hello and welcome back to another How to Bloke. Today we're going to do cauliflower cheese, gluten-free cauliflower cheese. So that might interest you. Why am I doing it? It's such a nice sunny day. Why am I doing it? Well, because we've had salad. We've eaten salad for the last 2 weeks, and we thought we'd do something a bit different than salad. So that's what we're going to do. So what we're going to do today, we're going to do cauliflower cheese and we're going to make it without ordinary flour. So let's get this started now. This is a cauliflower. I got this yesterday, really good one. They're quite cheap now, a bit early for them, but you know it's good. But there we are. Always gets things that are in season because they're going to be cheaper than anything. So you can buy asparagus, buy it when it's in season. You know, you're going to get spinach, fresh spinach, buy it when it's in season. And do it that way. Right, we're going to cut this off. That's the big piece there. Now, I'm going to cut a little bit off like that. Now, these bits here, these leaves here, are edible. You don't have to chuck them. In fact, they look these ones are not very good. They don't look very nice because of how the cauliflower's been harvested. But sometimes they can look really. And what I sometimes do, and actually I might do it today, is include some of the green leaves in there. Because don't forget, what you've got is you're going to have a cauliflower like this, which is white, and you're going to have a white sauce, unless you use cheese like red Leicester or something, but red cheese, kind of cheddar or something. So you're going to have white on white. So it's going to look a bit better if you have some colour to contrast it with. So I'm going to keep these leaves in today. Now, how are you going to cook this? What you're going to do is you're just going to cut in here like that. So go in there with a knife and cut it like that. Make a few slits in, just like that. What you're doing is cutting the core up so that the core cooks as well at the same time as the rest. You don't have to go crazy, just make it loose in the cut around. You could decore it a little bit, but it makes no difference. So what we're going to do now is put it in a pan. Excuse me, camera lady, I just need to fill this up. So get a big enough pan for it, and then we're going to. Now we don't need much water in there. Look, I'll show you how much water you're going to put in there. This much has about 1 inch in there, water. You don't need to cover it in water or anything like that. That's where you're doing it. So what we're going to do is we're going to cook it. We're going to kind of boil the bottom bit because it's harder, and we're going to steam the top bit because it's softer. So just put in a little bit of water like that. Get a lid and stick it on maximum. Okay, whilst that's doing that, now if you've got a compost heat, this is ideal for the compost heat. This is cut it up a little bit, perhaps a little bit smaller, but just stick it on there. If you haven't got a compost heat, then give it to somebody who does. That's my advice. Try and recycle everything you can. Right, now we're going to use a different board because that was for our vegetables. We're going to use a different board for making our cheese sauce. So, for a cheese sauce, we're going to go in. Now, if you use corn flour, this is what we're going to use today. Corn flour is made from corn, obviously. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called corn flour. But you must remember that in the factory where they make this, they might make other things as well, which have gluten in it. So there might be a possibility of some cross-contamination between the products that have gluten in the factory and the corn flour. Now, if you're in any doubt, I mean, I'm a bit tolerant to that. A little bit of gluten's all right, a little bit. But if you're totally intolerant to gluten, buy a corn flour that says on the box gluten-free. Okay, so that's the top tip. Now, to make the sauce, white sauce with this, just needed a few things. We're going to go in with 40 grams of butter. How much is 40 grams? I don't know, about that much. If you look at the butter in that you've got the block of butter underneath here, you'll see that there's the graduations there. Look, can you see? There, look, underneath that flap, look, hidden there. So you say, oh, the recipe says, oh, we need 25, 50 grams, whatever. You've got it there. So that's probably, well, it's nearly 50 grams. It doesn't matter. It's only a knob of butter there, this big. So that goes in there like that. This bit we're going to go in the fridge because it's hot today. So, okay. So we're going to do that. We're going to get this thing going because the rest is easy. So how much flour? Well, we're going to make a sauce for that, 4 people. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of flour. Right, we're going to put this on. Put it on a medium, and we're going to mix the butter with the corn flour. Okay, it's not ordinary corn flour. If you're not gluten intolerant, you just don't use the corn flour. You can if you want. Nothing wrong with it. Use the ordinary flour, ordinary self-raising or plain flour. Doesn't matter, whatever you got. Doesn't make any difference. So we'll get this going and get this melted. And then what you're going to need after that, you're going to need some, what is that? Garam masala. We don't need that. We need some granules or granular, or they call it lazy garlic. It's like garlic salt, if you like. So have some of that handy. Or you can get it in a tube, you squirt out. So you need something. This is to give the sauce a bit of flavour. Some nutmeg. Now you can get nutmeg. Looks like this, look. I mean, these ones are ground down, but that looks like nutmeg there. It's bigger than that. That smells good. Don't put too much in, a little bit. Now you can either grate it in. You don't put it in like that. You don't put that. No, you grate it. Okay, or you can get it ready grated in the form of a powder, like this. See, and that's quite handy. Yeah, that sounds good. That smells good. Which one is best, I don't know. Purists, experts probably would use this one. I can't tell the difference between them. And we're going to use some mature cheddar, mature cheese. Now that could be mature cheddar, it could be mature Gouda, which this one is. Any hard mature cheese. And we're going to grate this up a little bit. So we'll take off the kind of plasticky coating on the outside, like that. This is mature Gouda. It's really good, actually. So, well, I think we're going to use most of that, if not all of it. So we're going to get our box grater here, and we're going to grate some. Always keeping an eye on this thing here. Let's get going with this, not to waste time. So I'm going to grate this cheese. You can get the general idea, and we'll come back to you in a moment once I've grated the cheese. Okay, so we're back. I've grated the cheese. I've got a little bit left. I'll keep in that just because I might need it. Might need a bit more. We'll see how it goes. So a block of cheese, hard, mature cheese is best. So we've got that much. Look. So we're going to use 3/4 of that, maybe 2/3 of that, to go in the sauce, and the rest to go on top. Okay. So let's have a look here. Look. So this is our mixture of the corn flour and the butter. Okay. Now you could put a little bit more butter in it to make it go faster for you, but it's okay as it is. So you're going to need a whisk for this as well. In a minute. Not yet. So we're going to go with some milk now. It doesn't matter what milk you got. Semi-skim, full fat, matters not. So we're going to combine the milk with the flour and the butter. That's what we're going to do. So start off with a spoon, stir it round. Now cauliflower's bubbling away there, as you can probably see, and it's boiling up. So you could just turn that down a little bit to a bit more of a simmer. It doesn't need to bubble that ferociously. So with the cauliflower, remember what you're trying to do is boil the bottom of it, because that's where the stalk is, and then steam the top of it, where the florets are. Okay, right, the sauce is going thicker here, so we're going to add a bit more of that. Okay. Now, some people might say, some chefs say, well, you should have added the nutmeg by now to cook along with the butter. I haven't found any difference in the taste of that, so I don't think it's important, in my opinion, when you put a nutmeg in it. But there we are. That's just my sixpence worth. So I like to focus on making the sauce first, and then go in with everything that you need. I'm going to go in with a bit of mustard as well. Right, keep adding the milk as you go along. Don't let see, it's got lumps in it at the moment. It's got lumps in it. Don't worry about that. The lumps will go. Right, it's getting to the point now where we can start using the whisk. Let's continue with the spoon just for the moment. So that's how it starts. If you keep the heat on, it starts to thicken up again. It doesn't have to be on hot, super hot, hot enough, like medium. If you put it on low, you'll be here all day. You'll be here till next Sunday doing this. So keep the sauce hot. Now the thing about corn flour is it expands quite a lot, so it gets thick quite a lot. You use it to thicken things. So what you need to do is cook the corn flour in the sauce so that it does not thicken anymore. So it reaches its point of maximum thickness. You can't get any thicker. Can't absorb any more water, so, or milk, or liquid. So that's what we have to do. Not now, because we're still making the sauce. Now I could have cheated here again, as I say, by putting a bit more butter with it, more than I need, and then it would mix up easier. But we're doing it a little bit of the hard way. So, right, so now it's time for the whisk. And with the whisk, you can do it a bit more thoroughly. And if you've made this sauce before and you think, oh, I'm not making that sauce again, it's a real palaver, always comes out lumpy and everything. Well, if you just follow this, it's in real time, and I'm not cutting any of the video out. I'm doing it in real time, so you'll see where perhaps you've gone wrong in the past, and you feel confident enough to make it again. Well, the more, like, if anything else, the more you do it, the more you make these things, the easier it gets, because you just do it without even thinking about it. So first 2 or 3 or 10 times you do it, 5 times you do it, you can think, oh, is it right? All right, you know, but it comes naturally. Like riding a bike, you know, once you've ridden one, you never forget. And you're not fazed by it. So rather than you go and buying a packet sauce at a supermarket, so you know, a bechamel sauce or something, because all the sauces you make are all lumpy. And I think again, because now after you've done this, you can do it yourself, and you can add things to it. You can add, well, this is like a basic white sauce. Now you could add lots of things. You could make it sweet. You could make it savoury, which we're going to do. You can make it spicy. Loads of things you could do with it. Right, keep the heat on with this, and you see the lumps are breaking up a bit. Yeah, it does wear your hand out a little bit, and you know, but got to work off them calories somehow. So I don't know how many calories in this. Quite a lot, I would think. But don't worry about that. Now, what we're going to have this sauce with is so this cauliflower cheese is with some sausages today. That's all. That is all. I don't have no chips with it, no potatoes, no nothing. Because you've got the fat in the cheese, you've got the calories in the corn flour, you've got the vegetable element, which is the fibre in the cauliflower itself. That's all you need. If somebody says, oh, I need my potatoes. Well, all right, make some potatoes then, you know, boiled mashed potatoes or roasted potatoes or something or whatever, but you don't know, or include another veg with cauliflower. You could have cauliflower. What can go with cauliflower? I don't know, cauliflower peas maybe. I don't know, whatever you fancy. Right, look at the sauce now. I'm still stirring it. I'm still adding milk, and the lumps are gradually going. We've got to keep. I've got the ring on full now. It's a small ring, but nevertheless it's on full. And there's the sauce coming up. Now let's get in the thick again. You see, So the cauliflower is starting to swell and again and absorb all the liquid in there. So what you need to do is to keep it on the move. Don't walk away from it, and then get some more milk in. And it immediately loosens up like that. Immediately. So. Immediately it loosens up. Now you can see, well, looks a bit lumpy to me. Is it? No, it's not. It's not lumpy at all. That's nigh on perfect. And when you bring it up to the boil, which I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so we're going to go in now with some of this ground garlic to give it some oomph and some bit of flavour. How much? About that much there, look, see? Okay, if you don't like garlic, don't put it in. Now, we're going to go in with some nutmeg. How much? Let me show you. Now it's important this, because you know what I'm like, if it's important I'll show you precisely. That's how much nutmeg you use in it, okay? Look at the end of the spoon. Right, any more than that, not good. It'll taste too much of nutmeg and you'll probably spoil it. If you don't like nutmeg, don't put it in. Right. Next up is some mustard, Dijon mustard, or strong American mustard, strong French mustard, anything strong. How much mustard? This pan, that much, heap teaspoon, maybe a bit more. Okay. So, do you want to put any salt with it? No, not really, because you could, but there's salt in the cheese. So if you add some more salt, and too much salt is not good for you. Right, it's starting to thicken up again. So put some more milk in. Now, with this, I've nearly used a whole litre of milk. So I've used nearly a litre of milk in here. And so make sure you've got enough milk on, at least a pint and a half you need to use for doing this. Right, now the next step is we're going to add the cheese. Now before we do that, sorry I forgot, we've got to make sure this sauce is not going to thicken anymore. And we do that by letting it bring up to the boil and adding sufficient milk so that it won't thicken up anymore. So we're going to wait for it now to burst a bubble on the top here. So any minute it's going to burst a bubble. There's one. There, look. See? There's some more. So it's boiling now. Now we're going to stir it like that. And because if you haven't done this before, you wouldn't know this, but I know now that I need to put a little bit more milk in there, like that. So that's empty now. That's nearly a litre I've used in there. So I know by experience, I know that sauce needs a bit more. Now, okay, let's watch again. Now what you make sure is that the cauliflower is cooked out. So that means it's not going to get any bigger. Okay, so there's the bubbles again. Right, just wait a few moments and it'll bubble more. Okay, now then look at it and you stir it. And you think, oh yes, it's similar. It hasn't thickened anymore, so now you know your sauce is right. Okay, if you tried to serve that without doing that check, then the sauce would be horrible and thick and it'll be, no, it wouldn't be good. So we're going to put our cheese in now. So this is the cheese we're going to put in, grated up, ready to go. In it goes, wallop. So I'll keep that for the topping. I may have to use the other bit of cheese, I don't know. But because this is mature cheese, be it cheddar or mature Gouda or mature Edam or something like that, you don't need too much of it. And it gives it a dimension. Mild cheese is all right, but you know, people are not going to go wow. And for people who don't like cheese, and there's no other alternative really, they just have the cauliflower as it is. But you could make the white sauce without the cheese, I suppose, but I can't see the point, not with cauliflower cheese. Otherwise it'd be cauliflower white sauce. So that's starting to thicken up again. So I'm going to put a little bit more milk in even. A little bit more. A little bit more milk, like that, because I can feel it getting after I put the cheese. It's gone looser again. Again, you're not going to notice this until you've done it a few times. So should be thin enough to run through the whisk, but not too thin, not like watery. Like that looks good. A little bit more, perhaps another milk, a little blob of milk there. Like that. That looks good. Right, we're just going to check our cauliflower now. I don't know how long it's been boiling, 10 minutes or so. So we'll check that. Now we're going to stick a knife in all the way through it, see what happens. That's done. See? I'm going through where the stalk is. It's not done at the other side, so I'm going to keep it on a little bit more. I'm going to keep it on a little bit more, give it a little bit more. Put the lid back on it. I'm going to give it another 3 minutes. I'm going to put 3 minutes on the timer. 1, 3. Right there. So we're going to come back in a minute once the cauliflower's done. See in a bit. So we're back guys. I've put this on for another 3 minutes. It's still bubbling in there. Now if I put this through to the middle, it's straight through. You don't want to cut it so like mush. It has to have a little bit of firmness to it, but not too much. Again, you know, with that comes experience, and you won't know until. But if the knife goes all the way through easily, then you know it's cooked. In the middle, where the stalk is, right? So we're going to switch that ring off, and then we're going to go and we're going to move it. We're going to move it. We're going to drain it first. Like that, and then we're going to move it here. So we come and you can show up there's a stalk there. Look, that I was splitting. You can see how beautiful that colour contrasts against there. Now look at the stalk. Look, I'll just drop my knife in it. Look, see, it's cooked. I'll leave that in there. So what we're going to do now is now how do you serve this cauliflower? Well, I like to leave it might be a bit 1970s, I don't know, but I like to leave it whole like that, because it's more of a, and look, notice how nice the leaves look on the outside as well. It gives it a bit more, it looks nicer, I think. Anyway, how we're going to serve it now, you could, I like to leave it whole like this, and when you come to serve it, just cut it up, you know, into pieces, or with a spoon, whatever you want. Now what you could do is you could cut this up into florets, you know, smaller pieces, and have them at the bottom and then pour the sauce on. I'm not going to do that today, I'm going to keep it like this. So what we're going to do now is just switch off the camera so we can take a photograph of this cauliflower for the YouTube thing there. So what we're going to do now, we're going to put on our sauce. Now this, I've made a sauce here, which you've seen, and let's stick that on there. So we're going to go in with the sauce. Now the sauce, look, I'll tell you how thick the sauce is, like that. So it's not super runny, it's runny but not totally. Okay, so we're going to put some sauce on there. We're going to start there, and we're going to go like that. Like that. You're saying, well, why don't you cover the whole thing with sauce? Yeah, you could, no problem, but you want to see what it is. You want to see what the cauliflower, what it is, and otherwise it's going to be, could be a football underneath there, you wouldn't know. So you'll be covered up. So let people, especially bringing this to the table, which I'm sure you would, they'd be tickled pink seeing this. Let them see what it is. Okay, now look, I've made too much sauce for that, so I've got a little bit of sauce there. Well, what happens is, easiest thing to do, and keep it for another day. Wait, let it cool down, put it in a plastic container and freeze it. Or you could save it tomorrow and have it with you, put it on your chips. You dip your chips in it, lovely. Right, so we're going to do with this now. So we've got our cauliflower, put our cheese on, and we're going to put the top cheese on. Why are we going to do this? Because it adds a little bit more cheesiness. More cheesiness. So, same sort of cheese again. You could put a different cheese on there. In fact, if you had a red cheese or something, you could put that. You could put some blue vein cheese or something on the top. Not mozzarella, because that's, you can't really taste that very much. But so some of the same cheese I've got here. So we're going to put that all over the top like that. Just like that. You know, don't be stingy with the cheese. You're going to have cheese, have plenty. If you're not, don't have it. Otherwise, when you invite people for your cauliflower cheese fest, again, they're not going to say, no, not really. No, they're going to make excuses. You want people to come back for your cauliflower cheese. So, waste not, want not, put that little bit in there. Like that. Okay, there we got that. For a bit of nonsense, you can put some black pepper on it like that to make it look interesting. As I say, you can add salt, but if you put in too much, you can't take it out. So you're stuck with it. People say, oh, it's got too much salt in it. Well, you can't do anything about that. Anyway, this is the cauliflower cheese. Let's get rid of this in the bin. And that in the bin, that in the bin. I don't mean the bin, I mean the sink bin. Okay, so I'll move that like that. Now, okay then. So it's all well and good, but now the time is 20 to 2 in the afternoon, and we're going to have this for dinner. No problem. No problem at all. This will quite happily keep in the fridge. Just let it cool down a bit, put it in the fridge, or just leave it there. It's okay to have tonight. Well, why have I put the cheese on the top then? Well, because you've got a grill. I haven't got a grill that's working at the moment, but if you've got a grill, you can put it on the lowest setting of the grill so the grill doesn't burn it, and you can toast that and they go all brown. Now I'm going to attempt to do the same thing in the oven. It won't be as good, but it will be, at least the cheese will be melted. So what I'm going to do is, this is an oven-proof dish here. What I'm going to do is just going to go like that, and then leave that until I'm ready to cook that in the evening. Warm it up, cook it. Well, it's already cooked, isn't it? The cauliflower's cooked, it's short, so you just need to warm it through. And what you do is you put it in the oven, or if you've got a grill, you don't need the oven, just put it in the oven, grill, and grill it. Keep an eye on it, otherwise you're going to burn this. You don't want that. So put it on the lowest part of the grill, stick it under the grill there, wait till this is all nice and burnt, and this probability is the grill will have heated up all of this as well. And what you serve it with is up to you. Sausages, chopped pork chops, anything really. It's just a vegetable with some cheese sauce on it. So, what else can I tell you? That's it. I hope you enjoyed this latest thing on the show on the cauliflower cheese. Give it a go. If you've never made it before, be brave. You know, stop buying the sauces at the supermarket. Make your own. You tell everybody you made your own as well. And what's this YouTube bloke thing? And he said, what's his channel again? Say, well, this bloke, you know, how to bloke. There you are, so you can remember it now. Anyway, I've got some more recipes up here you want to try. I've got some quick tips on the top left hand corner. I've got some DIY tips on the bottom right hand corner. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, click the How to Bloke icon. Until next time.